There we go. Look, welcome to a Marketing Roundtable, gang. We're going to do a deep dive into LinkedIn today, and I'm very excited to be sharing this with you. This is going to be the ultimate lead gen system for people who are running LinkedIn, and there's going to be so many practical elements that you can take from this and actually do yourselves that you're going to be, grab a pen, we'll get the recording of this because we're going to be able to take this forward. I'm going to be giving some time at the end for a Q&A because there'll be questions, I'm sure. And also we can take that wider. And I'd love to hear other people's anecdotes of running through LinkedIn. Normally it's about a 50-50 piece where I do sort of the first 25 minutes, etc., of the demo, and then go into Q&A after that. So that's how we're working, and we're going to be hitting this up right now. Okay, so step one. First of all, believe this system can be done. I'm going to show you some proof of that. Two, I'm going to demo the system for you so you can actually see it. And then three, it's your turn to take action afterwards. The beauty of this is it's really simple, and it doesn't involve ads, it doesn't involve automation, it doesn't involve anything that you have to pay for. All of this, it doesn't even involve sales navigator or anything along those lines. This is a completely free to use system to be able to generate leads from LinkedIn. It can be done. So here's outreach that we do through this system, and this is me asking people, connecting with people, asking them for meetings. And then you've got these lovely people here going, great, happy to have a chat. So this is someone saying yes to a sales meeting. Okay, let's schedule a call. Hey, sure, next week, and this is the last few clients that we have won. And you can see here, out of the last 6 clients we won, 3 of them have come from LinkedIn. So it doesn't just book sales meetings, but it also books sales, When we did a 5-day challenge, so we did a LinkedIn 5-day challenge on this system, we helped people to build this system step by step over 5 days. These are the type of results people got after just 2 days of running this system. You see John got 4 positive responses so far. You can see Van here, he was getting now on 6 positive responses. Karen was smashing it out the house with 4 calls in the schedule in the diary over the next 3 weeks and still counting. Jay here got a call booked within. This is literally people implementing this, and within a day they're getting these results, right? This is Bev again saying that she had to actually leave the training call because she had a strategy session that she was booking. Miff here saying she got 7 calls. This is all within day 2 and day 3 of us doing this challenge. And again, another 2 here from Andy. So it can be done. And of course, the 100 Club, which we're going to be talking today, Mark was talking about, 5 positive responses within 3 minutes. 3 minutes, right? So well worth paying some attention today, right? And I'm going to show you how to do this all for free today. This is the system, gang. This is the system that we're going to go through. Now, anybody that's come onto the $1 Million Sprint before, or these marketing roundtables, will know that I love putting together these funnel diagrams and looking at this. So this is the simple LinkedIn system that we talk about. The first step is to prime that profile, then look at this messaging campaign, and to move people through into strategy sessions where you're doing sales pitch to them, and then pitching to them, taking them onto some sort of landing page where you can say, hey, this is the thing that we sell, maybe booking a decision call to see what they think of it, and then getting to sign up as a contract, right? So this is the funnel for you. The bit that we're going to be talking about just today is that all important, getting the lead, getting them to book into those strategy sessions, and to be able to do it in a systematic way. So it's like a heartbeat, like every single day. That's the art of this, is to have rhythmic lead generation that creates sales appointments that close the deals, right? So step 1, massive important part to this, know your audience. Who on earth are you targeting? Now, on LinkedIn, if you work out, well, actually, I want to target a certain type of business, you will be able to find what the size of that volume is. You can see here, top left, I did a search for coaches plus UK plus speaker, right? So that's the search that I'm going after, right? So say, we help expert businesses, service sector businesses. So I'm focusing on a search that's just for coaches, and we want to help coaches, right? You can see the opportunity is 197,000 people in the UK that are coaches, right? So big audience, great. There's great opportunity there. Then you want to look at how many of those are first degree connections? And for me, 743 are first degree connections. Those are your low hanging fruit. Let me just jump onto LinkedIn and show you how to do this, because this is something that's really important when you're doing anything on LinkedIn. If you go in here and you are looking for any type of business, you might go and say, you know, I want to work with CEO plus, I don't know, accountant, C or accountant plus UK, right? So I want to work with CEOs of accountancies in the UK. That will give you these results, and therefore you can see all these people in here, and you'll be able to see all the different results, right? Then you just go to filter, and you can then go first degree like this, show results, bam. You then see I'm only actually connected with 5 of those. So that gives you a really interesting piece of information that goes, actually, my target audience, I'm not connected to. If I'm not connected to them, my low hanging fruit is 5 versus the 753 if I was going after my target, which is coaches. And so hence why when you know who you want to target and know that's the kind of organization you can work with, therefore you need to have as many first degree connections for them, and you can start to run campaigns out to them. So do that search, gang, see how big your audience is that you want to target, and see how many of them you're connected with. So that's how you work out that. Cool. Then now we know we're going to go after those type of businesses. We want to start to actually write our headline for our audience. Why is this important? Is because when they see you on LinkedIn, you're interacting on LinkedIn, they want to see that you're actually working with them. You are targeted towards them. You are a business that helps them to do X, Y, and Z. So where does this show up? Well, look, this is kind of connection requests that are coming in for me. And these are connections in here, you know, say three different examples of my inbox of connections, right? So you got Alexandra here going, hi, Richard, I'm a, you know, you can see here, full stack developer, right? So we're looking just underneath him. He's a full stack developer. And let's go to the bottom one, Sarah, senior project manager at AV Group, right? A little bit like, you know, blur, right? But you get to Pete here and you go, helping creators to effectively market their audio content to their email list. Oh, hang on. Well, I'm a creator and I've got an email list and I produce content. And so actually, suddenly I realized, well, Pete could be a fantastic person for me to start to talk to. He's creating some sort of interest. It's a little bit more interesting than full stack developer. That's about them. It's not about me, right? So you need to shape that headline to be targeted towards that. So it also shows up in the inbox. So this is the inbox. You've got Janice here, who is a customer growth expert. You see here, transforming the way sales leaders retain and grow key customers, helping to deliver expert experienced B2B buyers wants, right? So it just shows up there, and that becomes a really important thing to entice you to go, oh, okay, I might want to reply to that, or I might want to be, you know, I'm interested in why, because she can help the type of person that I am, right? So it's better in the inbox as well. So really, really important. It's a massively important piece of real estate, right? So it has a bit of a formula that we suggest. That formula is to start off with who and how you help. So helping coaches, consultants, course creators sprint to $1 million in revenue. So that's the sort of, that would be the targeted one that I would have whilst I'm doing that outreach campaign to coaches. And then why they should listen. Award-winning entrepreneur, author, BBC The Apprentice finalist. Okay, so that's kind of the credibility piece. One of our clients, Jez Cooper, he set up his really nicely as well. So you can see here, partnering with organizations to create a culture of performance and well-being so they can focus on impacting the world. Nice. So that's kind of who and how you help. And then why they should listen, former top 250 UK IT list leader, right? Bit of credibility. So what can you do to shape that profile headline to really focus on who and how you help and why they should listen in relation to the outreach campaign you're doing? You can always change your outreach campaign and therefore change your headline later, but there's no reason why you can't really tailor that for the activity that you're doing, because it's going to give you a better yield in terms of people connecting with you, people messaging back from you, and appointments that you get from those people. Be flexible with this. Don't worry about changing it lots of times. Okay, so take action now. Get that headline sorted straight after this meeting. Step 3. Now we've got the assets sorted. We know who we're targeting. We know our profile is primed. Now we need to start the outreach. Now we talk with our clients about this $1 million hour. So we get into a habit of having an hour that we're working in our sales and marketing, working on our business. We're building the assets that we need to sprint to $1 million in revenue. That's the type of work that we do with our clients. This, what I'm going to show you, our clients will do within their hour if they're working this rhythm. And it takes less than an hour. This is the important point. So I don't want you to think, oh, crikey, it seems like a work. Genuinely, this is optimized to take less than an hour. Okay, the 100 Club. All right. So every single time we approach this, we want to hit the $1 million Sprint 100 Club. What does that mean? First of all, it's 80 contact messages to your first degree connections. So it's 80 messages to your first degree connections, right? So the action is to target 80 of your first degree targeted audience members using an outreach membership. That's your low hanging fruit, right? It's those 743 people that you are already first degree connections with. And these are the people that are going to really help you to start to get those appointments, right? So how do you do that? Well, here's a really nice, simple template that we recommend people use. It's got 4 parts to it. It's let me be upfront, right? Say, hi, first name. I don't take up much of your time, so let me get straight to the point, right? Being upfront with them. You know that this is an ask. Who and the pain they have, right? So we're looking to partner with expert entrepreneurs who are awesome at what they do, but need more clients, right? So this is, we understand you are an expert entrepreneur and we understand you may have this pain of needing more clients. So we get that. Okay, now, so you kind of got their attention now. Up front, you tell me who I am, I've got the pain. Okay, right. So now I know it's specific. How we solve that pain, we run a lead generation and sales accelerator designed specifically for experts, and we think you'd be a great fit. Nice. Okay, so you can tell me, like, I get it. It's for me, and it's about lead generation. It's about sales. It's an accelerator. And you think that I would be interested? I'm thinking I might be interested as well. Okay, let's see. So call to action. I would love to schedule a call next week so I can show you more. Can you see how that can entice the imagination? It's not wordy. It's not giving too much. It's just bam, bam, bam. And it really kind of opens it up. Now, it's not going to, not everybody's going to be like, oh, thank God you sent me this message. I've been waiting all day for this. We understand that this is about volume. This is why it's 80 a day. It's rhythmic, remember? And we're not expecting 80 people to come back and say, crikey, that was the message that I was always waiting for. It's about hitting them enough times and knowing that you're going to get people at the right time. And if you're targeting them right and you're putting the right message in and you're being straight up to the point, you will get those percentages starting to come towards you. 3-4% of people booking in would be amazing if you're hitting 80 a day, right? It's big results. Okay, that's the message. So what you're going to do with that, before we go on to the 20, we're going to get onto this. And if these are the first degree connections I'm going after, you're simply going to copy that message. You're going to hit message in here, and you're going to just bang it into this, and you're going to paste it into there, send it. Done. You're going to then send that to him. You then go to the next one, send it, done. Go to the next one, send it, done, right? 80 times. Right? That's it. It ain't done there, right? But that's the opener. You tee it up, right? Let's go back to the presentation. The next step is to think about the 20 connections a day. So what you'll realize is that you'll soon run out of those first degree connections. And so we need to keep on daily topping up new connection requests. Now, LinkedIn, when you're running this stuff organically, and everything I teach is organic. You can use, for our clients, where a lot of them are using Sales Navigator, a lot of them are doing more advanced automation stuff, so we can get over the 20 connections a day. But for this kind of foundation stuff, 100 connections a week is kind of LinkedIn's limit for someone using the platform for free. And so hence why 5 days a week, you do 20 connections a day. It gives a nice rhythm. It keeps you within that limits. Okay, so that's designed specifically to work within the free organic LinkedIn way. So hence 20 connections a day, 5 days a week, right? So that connection will be targeting those people using a bespoke connection request. And that connection request has got to capture their imagination and make them want to actually connect. So remember, we primed that profile. So remember, we saw those 3 examples. You're going to already have a really nicely put together profile and a headline when you actually get into that connection request inbox. And then we also want to hit them with a specific message. So they're going to hit the opportunity. So we got 197,000. That's a lot of days at 20 a day, right? So we got a lot of opportunity here, and we're going to rattle through these. We're going to get these, and there's 3 different examples I'll show you. One example here is the semi-familiar ask. There's 2 here. One is like, hi, name, LinkedIn showed me your profile multiple times now, and as we are both in the coaching industry, I thought I'd reach out. It's always great to be connected with like-minded individuals. You see how it's semi-familiar, because I'm using LinkedIn to say, hey, LinkedIn thinks that we should be friends, so let's be friends, right? And so hence why it's a semi-familiar ask. The second thing is, hi, Dave, it's Richard. So that you see that, hi, Dave, it's Richard. That makes it already feel semi-familiar. It's Richard, Richard, good old Richard. So it's kind of there. I hope you're doing great. I'm on a personal mission to grow my coaching connections on LinkedIn. It would be great to connect. Cool. So you can start to see how that's semi-familiar. 2 good examples there. The other one could be a pattern interrupt. So because I'm going out to coaches, therapists, that sort of stuff, you could do a little joke or something such as, how many therapists does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but the light bulb must really want to change. Jokes aside, I love to connect. Now, it's a crappy little joke, and nobody's crying in laughter here, but it's a pattern interrupt. It's that kind of, what it is. And you can see here as well, remember when you get those connection requests, you'll have like a fold line, like a ... So the first bit will be how many therapists does it take to change a light bulb. They won't probably see the punchline in the connection request. So they'll then click on it to read it. And, if it's kind of broke, that's the pattern interrupt. They might look at it. They might look at the headline, and you might get connection requests. So you can see how these different things you change. It's A/B testing, you've got to test one against the other, right? Cool. So you can see this is where it's coming in. This is where it's coming in. You see that see more here? That's where you're going to have that, how many therapists have changed the light bulb, ... Do you see? See more. And I'm clicking it. I'm lingering, right? So there's a bit of logic in the crap joke. So this is where you're coming. And you see how that headline now is really, really important. It's the most important piece of real estate on LinkedIn. It shows up all the time. So that headline, nice little message. Hopefully they're going to accept your connection request. Cool. And again, you can see it's in there. So actually we said yes there, and you can see there that it would come in. That's the type of thing. So Pete here, he says, I see we both work in the podcast world. I thought it'd be good to connect. As such, I've decided not to send you the generic LinkedIn invite, right? Fingers crossed. So, Pete is probably sending that to everybody, but not the generic one, but it is your generic one, Pete, my boy. We know fisherman knows another fisherman. But it's nice, right? I like it. I connected with Pete after this. I thought he was worth the effort. So now we're doing that. So we're going, remember, we're doing the 100 club. So we're doing 80 plus 20, 80 outreach, 20 connections every single day, but it's not 80 outreach messages every day. I'm going to show you one. We got a nudge, because there's no point asking for a meeting without following it up. So we've primed our LinkedIn profile. We've done that messenger outreach to say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Now we're going to say, no, genuinely, I want to have a conversation. So this is the nudge, just bubbling this up to the surface, as I know these things get lost all the time. Let me know if there's a good time to speak next week. Does Thursday afternoon work, right? Be specific. So this shows that you're serious. So you've asked them for a meeting, and then you're nudging to say, no, seriously, I want the meeting. Not enough people do this, which makes people actually respond. We get just as good response rate off the nudge as we do off the initial message. Really important. You leave a ton of appointments on the table if you're not nudging. And it's just a simple case of looping back to the 80 messages and nudging 80 times, or hopefully nudging, 74 times, because you got 6 appointments off the first time, right? And so that's hence why you just want to work it. Now, you don't want to go through all 746 and then go nudge the other 746 first degrees, because it's too long a gap. So there's a system for this, right? So the 80 messages to make the 100 club also become your nudge. So your 80 can be either the initial message outreach, or they can be the nudge. They're not both, okay? Let me show you how this system. So going forward, the plan is going to bring it all together, right? The 100 club plan using the nudge is this. 160 people a week is all you do. Monday, you do an opener, right? So you do 80 people with that, hey, let me get straight to the point. I'd love to book a meeting next week. Tuesday, and then 20 connection requests, by Tuesday, again, straight to the point message. Hey, love to have a meeting. Let's have a meeting next week. And then 20 connection requests, right? So it's Monday, Tuesday, open it. Then Wednesday, no message. Then Thursday, straight to the point, nudge. So you want to go, you nudge Mondays on Thursday. You then nudge Tuesdays on Friday. Get it? So Monday, you go out to 80. Tuesday, you go out to 80. Thursday, you nudge Mondays. Fridays, you nudge Tuesdays. So actually, it's only 160 of your first degree connections per week. And you're still doing your 20 new connections a day, because obviously you want to continue to increase those first degree connections so you can continue to actually outreach to them, right? This message campaign and this system means that when you get to the end of your runway, so you kind of work out, well, what is your runway? So if I had 743 connections, I can divide that by 160, because I'm only doing 160 weeks, which gives me 4.6 weeks of running this particular message outreach to them. Now, because I'm putting 20 connection requests a day in, I'm hoping that maybe 10 of them actually do connect. Then by the time I get to the end of that 4 to 5 weeks, I'm hoping that maybe another 70 connections have added to my 743 connection pot. And so if I'm lucky enough, maybe there might be 850 in that first degree connections by the end of this first process. What do I do then? Well, I actually go and say, hey, I'm actually going to go and put together a new message outreach, which might not be straight to the point. It might be something like, hey, Lloyd, would you be up for coming along to my marketing roundtable in 2 weeks' time? I'm going to be doing a particular event around X, Y, and Z. Would love you to come. And so therefore you nudge on there. Or would you like to download my new ebook that I'm putting out? Or would you like to get a copy of my new book that I've just launched? Or if you're James Bond, who shared beforehand, would you like to, read my book that was recently featured in a newspaper about saving on the cost of living, or whatever it might be? If you're Mike, would you like to come along to my keynote that I'm running up in Glasgow? It's about having an excuse to go to your network and going out to them, nudging them, pulling out the call to actions, getting the leads off the back of it. And it works. Remember those proofs that we worked. Cool. So before we talk about kind of that, I'd just like to just take a moment just to ask, Thoughts, gang, and any questions around that, or any insights that people have had looking at sort of a LinkedIn outreach campaign?
Hi, Richard. It's Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yes. So I'm just wondering how you keep track of all this. I know you use Trello because I've seen that in some messages. Is that how you keep track of all this? You know, who you've, like, obviously you've outlined the first pass with people, then you're saying you can go out to them again once you've gone through that first message with maybe a reference to a lead magnet or whatever. So are you like listing each name that you're going through or that you're writing to? Are you putting that into a system so you know who you're going back to next once you've exhausted your 4.6 weeks or whatever in your example?
It's really easy. You just take the name of the last person you outreach to each day. So on Monday, if I got through to, you know, Dave Smith, then I'll write down Dave Smith. So then next day I'd go down below Dave Smith, and I would then start to outreach to everybody below there. And then on Wednesday, I go back to the top of the search and go through it. So you just got to make note of who do you start with, who do you finish on each day, and then you go back and you nudge those, because they stay in that order when you do those searches on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't mess around with that order. They have the same order of it.
Yeah.
So
okay. Thanks a lot, Richard.
You just loop round that way. So it's really what, and actually remember in the inbox. So if you look at your LinkedIn inbox, if I show you this, when you're going out to do these, you'll be going out. So you can see here, look, here's me actually. There you go. I'm just going, hey, that's my outreach message. Right, so you'll be able to go through and actually look at all the messages in your inbox. And so when you sent this on these days, you can see here 8 o'clock, these are all the ones that have been sent as me. So you would then be able to go back. You can say, right, these are the ones on the 17th. These are the ones that I sent. These are the ones that I sent on the 18th. So you can actually then look at it from an inbox perspective and look at the date as well that they've been sent out. So on the 17th was the last time I spoke to.
That's great. Thank you.
Cool.
I think I'm right in saying if they don't reply, they sit in your inbox is pending anyway, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So they'll just sit there as a message that you sent out, and then hence why you just go back to that date and be able to nudge.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing about this, gang, is this is the type of stuff that we help our clients to actually automate. So not only do we get them to be doing this organically, get all the messaging right and working, but we also then start to bring automation tools so the 100 Club actually happens automatically and the leads start to come in. So, and of course, then you can actually start to push that 20 a day higher, because you can start to use other tools to be able to do that. That's the type of work we do. This type of module is how we help clients to sprint to $1 million in revenue. And actually, if you are genuinely interested in understanding a little bit more about that, or a little bit more about how we can help you, I'm going to take a couple of extra questions before, because we've got time today. But just now, I just thought I'd just show you, if you want to spend a bit of time with me and go through your business and how this could work for you, we do offer a free strategy session, and we are running them once a week. One's at 12:30 today, lunchtime. This is our website here, Million Sprint, and we look at where you are now, where you want to be in 12 months' time, what campaigns will get you there, and actually how we could be of help, right? So here you can see free strategy session. You book into this and it takes you to a Calendly. You jump on this Calendly. I'm going to stick this into the chat now because I'd love for you guys to get on it. They are limited in terms of seats, but look at this. So you got some space here to be able to book the 12:30 today, or next one's next week. So jump on that quickly. And in that session, we'll look at where you are now, where you want to be in 12 months' time, what type of campaigns. It could be a Facebook group strategy. It could be a email marketing strategy. It could be an ads strategy, or it could be something like this LinkedIn strategy. So we'll go through that together and look at that, and actually look at your product. And is your product a scalable product? Can you get out of the business? I have 4 to 5 hours delivery a week. That's all I do. And I've got a client base of nearly 100 people. So it's how scalable is your business, and how can you hit your revenue target? It doesn't have to be 1 million in revenue. It could be 30 grand a month is what you want to achieve. So how can you hit that? What are you going to do? Are you actually doing the right type of business to be able to achieve that? So there's all that stuff that we're going to look at today. So do jump on and book that. Great. Back into the room though. So further questions, gang?
I was just going to ask, I get messages all the time from people wanting to connect, and something happens. You see, your past history presumably comes up when people are searching. So I keep getting things saying, you're in the retail industry, which I'm not. I was once chair of a retail organization. And I find that really interesting. It's just a point about making sure it is their current position.
Yeah, exactly. And also maybe just being a bit more intelligent about the tool. So what someone's probably done there is using an automation tool to be able to do it and using it badly. So when you look at things like, how are you doing at XYZ company? Well, the problem is people have got like 3 or 4 different companies they're on, and lots of them forget to kind of end their current reign at one company before they start another one. And so the automation is just picking up those phrases. And so hence why it will look incorrect. Whereas if you use the automation correctly, knowing that, and also knowing things like, industry sector, remove that and actually try and do something a little bit more sophisticated, then that works better. There are some cool tools where you can reach out to people to say, hey, we're part of this group, would love to be talking to you, because they are, it's a fact, they are part of that group, really liked your post on or comment on this post, so I thought I'd say hello. That's a fact, they did comment on that post. Now you can automate all of that stuff now. So there's some really cool ways of doing this. The other wicked thing about LinkedIn is, let me just, I'll jump on a blackboard and do a bit of diagram. So this is kind of the tactics that we play with, set up for our clients, is you can start to use Zapier to be able to link stuff up. So not only are we going in, we're doing like our 20 a day. Ooh, why is that not letting me play? Hang on. I think I need to select, make sure it's actually refresh. Microsoft whiteboard, come on. It's where all the Apple people going, well, you shouldn't be having Microsoft then, should you? Come on. There we go. Right. So let me just move this away. It's the one I made earlier. We need to zoom in a bit. Okay. So if you're running these connection campaigns and you're going out here and you're going, right, I'm going to get 20 people a day, happy days, and I'm going to be pushing them into a messaging sequence that says, hey, great to connect, love to connect to you. You can then automate out another message that says, oh, well, now we're connected. It'd be awesome if you wanted to come along to this do a strategy session with me or whatever it is. Or you could go and send then a nudge campaign. You can then nudge them into this. It'd be the automation piece. But if they don't do anything there, you can then set up another message that says, hey, you want to come to my weekly moment, my round table, whatever it is, right? So those automations can all be happening through Messenger. But at the point of connection, it can also move those straight in. Once you connected, it can take their details and put them straight into your email database, and you can say thank you for connecting. Now, lots of people go, oh crikey, you're getting emails addresses. Where's the permission in that? Well, as far as I can see, and remember, this is light entertainment in the mornings with Richard. It's not legal advice. But my approach to this is, if I've connected with Mike and Mike has this lovely little thing underneath his profile, so we are friends, he has decided that he wants to be connected with me, and if I just pick on just anybody here, we can go and see, look at this contact info, right? So Joanne and I, hopefully she's going to help me out here, she's actually put her email address in there, but we've connected, we are friends. She said, yes, I like to be connected with Richard, and she's got this blue button that says contact info, and on that blue button you go in there and you go, well, Jane has very kindly been able to give me 3 different links to her website. She's also given me her mobile number. Thanks, Joanne. And here's her email address. If I want to connect with her on Twitter and Skype, I can also know when her birthday is. which is Happy New Year for January 1st. And I know we're connected, right? All of this is information that's available that she has made available on her profile. Every single part of that can get automatically hoovered into your database and trigger a thank you email to say, hey, thanks for connecting, Joanne. It's fantastic to see you. I would love to have that strategy session that I might have mentioned here. And I just wanted to say that I wanted to do that. And also, by the way, I also have doing this weekly moment thing here that you should come along to. Do you know what I mean? And then I can say, well, actually, I'm going to put her into a bit of a long-term warming up email sequence. I'm going to send her a value every single Friday. And if I get really fruity, I might give her a ring to say, hey, do you want to come along to this thing? I might even send her a text. Joanne, come on, let's do this. Now, I'm not about wanting to text people straight away and all the rest of it, because there's a piece about like ruffling people's feathers versus marketing, and there is a fine line. But sending an email to say, hey, we just connected on LinkedIn, be great to learn a bit more about you, and then sending them another message to say, hey, I've got this cool event, I think it'd be good for you. It's all about how coaches can be able to grow their business. You should come along to it because you're a coach and a speaker, Joanne. Do you see how it makes sense? We are connected. We're now in conversation. She's now starts to get used to having emails from me, and then she's going to find herself in one of the rooms or a strategy session, and that's great.
Richard,
it may be one of the reasons why some of you guys are here, and the beauty of it just automatically goes through. Cool. Was there a question there?
Richard Bajan.
Yes. Good to see you, mate. How you doing?
Very well, very well.
How's the book going?
Excuse me?
How's the book?
The book's going well. Yeah, I've got 2 coming out this year. So yeah, one's at the publisher's not now, and there's another one coming out later. So yeah, really good. Really enjoyed the session. I've been meaning to come every time, but I've got a client at 9 o'clock, and this week they couldn't do it, so hence I could come in. So I'm trying to reschedule that so I can join the sessions. Just on that profile thing, on our own profiles, we can put a live link underneath. Did you know that?
So what, as in a link for people to come along to?
Well, for example, I've looked at your profile. Underneath, you got contact info. There's a new facility now where if you go into edit your profile, if you go to your own profile, Richard. Right, so at the moment go to edit.
Wait, hang on. There's too many things in the way. Out of the way. There we go.
And scroll down. Right there, see link?
Look at that.
So that's live now.
Awesome.
So you can put like your calendar link. So I've put a website, so you can put your website there, and that appears live, so someone can go directly there.
Look at that, making changes now. Done. Happy days. The lovely thing about LinkedIn, so there's a few things. Oh, look at that. Happy day. So there's a few things about LinkedIn. Thank you, by the way. They are always updating it. So one of the points that we always say to clients is that instead of trying to be on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, if you are being there, if you can be 20% in all those places, you're only 20% in one of those places, right? Whereas if you gather up all those 20% and be 100% all in on LinkedIn, then you go deep, not wide. So you start doing things like making sure that profile is awesome with a link in it. You start doing things like being able to put LinkedIn Live together. So you create a creator program. So you start to run lives out of LinkedIn. You start to use the really powerful tool, which is the LinkedIn newsletter, which has amazing reach and doing really well. And that's where you can start putting your thought the issue about. You start to do this 100 club and you start to grow your network and be really abundant in their space. Deep, not wide. Don't try and be everything to everyone. Be full on to that target audience and be awesome at one of them. And it might not be LinkedIn, it might be Facebook that could be your thing. Or if you've got a team like I have, then I've got Fago that sorts out my LinkedIn, and he's all in on my LinkedIn. He is 100% the person responsible for my LinkedIn. I've got Flora, who's 100% the person responsible for my Facebook. And so they are all in on those profiles, and they are becoming more and more expert at running those campaigns because they are dedicated to them. It's not one social media person running after all my social media. It's deep on one, right? And that becomes the why this stuff becomes abundant, and why you get better at it, because you get just focus. The power of one traffic source. We always say then bring back people to one weekly moment to go and sell them into one sales pitch, to sell them one flagship product. Power of one traffic, one consideration, one awareness, consider, convert, deliver. That's the whole point. I'm going to take another question. I'm going to take another few questions. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes, but I just want to just bring you back to the reminder about this strategy session. So thank you for the people that booked it on, because my phone's buzzed a couple of times. I'm going to put that back in. Remember, I've got these slots available, and we will go through that power of one. We'll go through your business. We'll look at what should be your primary traffic source. Do jump onto that. There, I've just chucked it into the chat again. If you're watching this on the replay, it's at the top of my website, free strategy session there. Click there, you can jump onto it. Great, thank you. Okay, Janice, how you doing?
Hi, Richard. Actually, I just wanted, it's not really a question, but it was just to say that this really works, because I was on the challenge. And for those who had not gotten a chance to do the challenge, this really works. I've been doing it. I know I lagged a bit between end of April and May, but I started back again. And I must say that since then, I have got a flow of actually, I actually have one after this meeting of leads. And recently I got this lady who actually started working with me just through doing with the 80-20 bit. So yes.
Congratulations.
Yes,
awesome. All right.
And you know what I've noticed, Richard, for those obviously from the strategy session, I realized that some of them were not my ideal clients, and that's fine. Some of them, they could not pay at the moment. And what I noticed is that they started coming onto my wrong table. Yes, I'm following you. I'm doing everything. They're now coming onto my wrong table meetings, even if they can't, even if they're not yet clients, but I noticed they started coming on. So I guess they'll be staying there for a while until they can pay.
Exactly. It's not a no, it's just a not yet, right? So that's awesome. And then hence why you do these warming up events. Well, look, congratulations. That's awesome work. And well done on that front. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Steve, over to you.
Yeah, just a quick one. Creator mode versus just normal mode. Do you recommend just staying on the normal mode so people connect with you directly, or you move on to creator mode so you can put your little 30-second video under your profile?
Yeah, so for me, it really comes down to how are you using it. If you want to use things like the newsletter function, if you want to use things like the live function, then you've got to switch to creator mode, and that's got some really good yield, got some good reach on that in terms of the content you're putting out. If you're just purely out there looking to do connections and to grow your network, then you might not, because the issue with the creator mode is that it gives the button follow as opposed to connect as the primary way someone actually can reach out to you, whereas you might want more connections when you're actually doing outreach. That said, Steve, I wouldn't worry about it. Just don't sweat it too much, because the point of what you're doing is you're outreaching to people, so they're connecting with you. And so you are the main force for connections, the main momentum. You're creating your own luck. So yes, all right, the odd person may follow you as opposed to connect with you. But the beauty of being able to actually just do 20 a day, they're accepting as opposed to actually trying to do the connection with you. So I'd go creator mode. Gives you more functionality, gives you more the ability to gives you more likelihood of being found for stuff. So go that way, I'd say. Have a play with lives.
Richard,
when we talk about weekly moments, there's no reason why you can't be doing a LinkedIn Live as your weekly moment. You know, as opposed to something like this, you could just be doing you could be doing a live. I've got a good friend, Amanda Watts, so she does a live every day. On LinkedIn, she gets some great yield from it. It's about just getting content and getting into having the right people in your feed, having the right people connecting with you, and then putting content that's targeted towards them, and then having a strategy to ask them go to the next thing.
Richard, I've got
Cool.
to ask about
Yes.
the strategy was great tech. What do you think about voice messaging and or video messaging?
Yeah,
Instead of
I
those
like
like
it. I like it. I'm all about automation. So we have a strategy within the $1 Million Sprint, which is called TNAD. So every single thing that we talk to clients about, it's about try it, nail it, automate it, delegate it. TNAD, right? So every process should be TNADed. So once you're trying this stuff, like Janice was trying it, she's now nailing it, because not only is she getting strategy sessions, she's getting sales. Now it would be good for her to move on to automating that. So she takes the human out as much of that process as possible. And then finally, she wants to bring someone in to delegate. So then they're looking after the automation and anything else around it that can't be automated. And now you pop out through the top of the process. There's a second step to this. Now, once you've TNADed something, you got to RTM it. And so RTM stands for reporting, targets, and management. And so you should always have an RTM dashboard. This is the stuff that we teach our clients. They get a copy of our RTM dashboard for them to edit. And on that RTM dashboard, they are able to assign targets against the specific deliverables within LinkedIn. So for example, the RTM dashboard will look at how many new connections are being made, how many connection requests are being sent, how many strategy sessions are being booked off the back of that activity, and how many sales are being booked off the back of that activity. So once you know what you're tracking, then next to it, you can put what you're targeting every single week to achieve. And then the delegated person responsible for that will submit their numbers every week. So now the dashboard does the management of how well that person's performing and how well LinkedIn is performing against what you're particularly looking for. And so now your business is growing through a dashboard. And so I always say, don't be the manager of people, let the dashboard be the manager, and you can then be the coach of the person to help them perform better against the targeted dashboard. So TNAD a system to get yourself and pop out for the top and have someone in there managing it. So this is where we talk about Power of One. They then manage the LinkedIn, and then RTM it to then have that continuous improvement. Let the RTM manage the person, and then you can then coach them to be able to achieve success. And that's it. TNAD and RTM. Good stuff. Looking forward to seeing you guys in strategy sessions. I'm happy to stick around for a final question, and then I'll close the meeting. So if anybody's got one now or want to have a share, then we can do that. Mike, you were saying something, but I think you're muted.
Yeah, because I'm a speaker, I'm targeting CEOs, event organizers, conference organizers. Mm-hmm. So it's a kind of one-off hit. You know what I mean? It's not book me every week for the next 6 years. It's one-off. And I would like to talk to them, but when people are very busy and they're running large companies, what is the optimum time to try and do a weekly broadcast, or what you're doing?
Well, I always think there's three different times that we recommend. Yeah. One is the one that I pick. I like it to be the first meeting of the day, so 9 o'clock. So before the world erupts around people and their inbox takes them astray, it's the first thing they do. So get a coffee, come in, maybe punch a couple of emails out just before, but then bam, you're in, right? Yeah. Then I also think if that's not right for your audience, maybe a lunch and learn. So you can do a little lunch and learn, put that together, bam. And then the final one, which is probably the third best, is a 5 o'clock, a last thing of the day thing. That said, it can also become the best if you've got an international audience. So if you're hitting up the US and you want to hit a bit of Australia, then that sort of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, around that time in the UK can actually work for both time zones. Yeah. So that could be the best if your audience is global, but it could also be the worst if it's just a UK audience. Cool.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Again, all these sort of stuff I can help people in strategy session. But look, that is it. So thank you so much for interaction, Darryl. Hope that really helped. I've got to dive because I'm going to go be presenting long-term warming up email sequences to my clients today. So thank you all. And I'll see you next Wednesday or see you this afternoon on the strategy session. Cheers, gang. Thank you very much for everything. Bye. Bye-bye.